Welcome, sports fans. Welcome back to another live. I'm your host, Joe Mara,
I'm Rush.
and this is This or That Sports TV place. You guys come to get the best, most interesting, and riveting sports topics, discussions, and debates on the internet.
Yes, people, before we get into today's live, obviously this is a live because we want to interact with you guys. You know, we do our thing kind of different, bro. Record the video them, even if they're long, we record them and make people enjoy the premiere, well-produced shows. But today we're doing a live because we want to interact with our supporters. I will see a couple people are coming, 8 people there so far. Thank you guys for joining early. Hit the like button, subscribe to This or That Sports TV, and leave a comment. Talk to us in the live chat, please. You see me? And what else you want to do, bro?
I want you guys to share the video to at least 10 people, but ensure to get us just 6 subscribers, because if each and every one of you guys can manage to do that, you know how many subscribers will get us by the end of the day?
Yes, a lot. All right, people, so it's a Sunday night live. As I say, we're going to do these more and more. And what we're going to do on today's live is recap the week. You know, I feel like it was a packed week, bro. A lot happened this week, from the trials to the JPL, Lenny Hyde situation, Cavaliers doing well. You know, a lot of things. Wistfully and Bale. A whole heap of things happen. Some things that we're not going to touch on, but we can touch on most of them. Right? So, how long you feel like we can get them tonight, bro? Want to get them 45? What up? Hey. Just make the mood dictate. Let the live dictate. Let the energy dictate. The vibe dictate. You see me?
I'm glad to fix up your argument.
Yeah. All right.
I
So,
appreciate that.
Brian Martin, big up yourself. Before I get into it, Cheryl and Christy, welcome, gents. Yeah. Brian meeting Cavaliers last night. Yes, they did. But sitting at the top of the table, they've been doing well. All right. So, first thing I want to talk about is the Lenny situation, right? So, I feel like when they say Chapleton Maroons, I feel like Lenny Hyde is synonymous with that. I feel like Clarendon College is synonymous with Chapton Maroons at this moment. You know, we think about that team and
Not anymore.
not anymore. You know, but coming into this week, I feel like those three things, at least the Lenny Hyde one, those two were synonymous. But coming into the week, we're in a lot of things. You know, they got their promotion to the Premier League and having a rough season. A couple of reasons, and we'll get into the reasons. But he got sacked. He got sacked by the executive of Chapton Maroons. And we're here to talk about how fair it is, what exactly transpired, and how we feel about it. But let's talk about this club and what we know of Chapleton Maroons coming into the season. We know that. Go for it.
And before that, tomorrow I'm supposed to get an inside scoop, from an anonymous source. So yeah, me doing my investigative journalism, I'm supposed to meet up with somebody tomorrow who's going to give me the full, the full 900, or them say the full 100, the full 001, the full rundown.
I understand.
Something of that sort as to what's going on with the Chapleton Maroon situation. So on the next episode of Studio Talk, people, tune in to find out exactly what transpired within the organization. Yeah, Joe Graham will be providing that information. But as of right now, there's not much that I know. I know that he was sacked due to the poor performances of the team. But I think today what we'll be focusing on more so than the sacking and what went on surrounding the sacking is the aftermath. The fallout. And I think many teams, the Mount Pleasants, the Arnett Gardens, the Harbour Views, so on and so forth, they would be well, and the Veers would be well happy with the fallout because they ascertained a lot of players on freeze. They ascertained a lot of transfers. The likes of Nixon and Daniels and other players, Jones, other players that would have moved on from the Chapleton Maroons. And I think this is in response to the sacking of Coach Hyde.
Yeah. Let's speak about the aftermath, as I said, but let's kind of personalize it. What would you do? And what would I do if the coach that brought us to this team, the coach that we know so well, personally and as a coach, tactically, I know they love him. They play some good football. They enjoy playing under Lenny Hyde. What would you do if you feel like they treated him unfairly and sacked him before even giving him a real shot? The season just started, I think 28 or 26 game week, and we're just at about 10 or 11. So, what would you do as a player if you're a coach?
in addition to the fact that he was the one who would have secured promotion
Yeah.
to the senior competition with a bunch of schoolboys who would have been 1 year younger and less experienced. I can imagine the influence that Lenny Hyde has on these young set of boys. They obviously love and respect him very much, and it is unfortunate the way how this situation would have turned out. Had this been a coach that would have brought me here and taught me the game that I'm loyal to, considering that none of these players are professionals, they're playing in the league, but I don't think many of them would have signed contracts because they're students at the same time. Um, I think it was an easy decision for them to spread their wings and to play with more renowned organizations that are probably better for their individual development, considering that the coach that they're familiar with, you know, is no longer there. So why not go and play for Arnett Gardens? Why not go and play for the Cavaliers? Why not go and play for Harborview? Why not go and play for Mount Pleasant? So I think being in the situation, I'd have probably made the same move. I'd have probably done the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that definitely made the same move. I'll be out of there. Especially, I'm pretty sure, I see the relationship at the games. I feel like Lenny and the boys are close. And I'm pretty sure there was a phone call, and the coach gave his side of the story. I even heard an interview on the radio. And Lenny Hyde spoke of the situation. So if I was in those players' shoes, I would definitely make my move. There would be nothing holding me at the club. We're gonna read some comments real quick. Brian Martin says CC was Chapleton Maroons, not anymore.
Yeah.
He meant Dixon, bro. Jaim Dixon. Come on, people.
So what am I say?
Yes, then Nixon. We don't know if
Oh.
Yeah. Brian Martin, they could have gotten the players on free regardless of Lenny leaving or not. Amateur players can move without a transfer fee.
Yeah, which is exactly what we said. So they could have gotten the players on a free, but the players wouldn't have left Chapton Maroons because that's the club that they would have pledged their allegiance to because of the coach. But considering that the coach left now, there's no ties holding them to the Chapleton Maroons. So considering that this is the case, why not go to an Arnett Gardens or Harborview where you're going to probably get paid some money? You're going to play with better resources and you're going to play in front of better fans and at better facilities and be exposed to better resources. So why not? Why not move on from the Chapleton Maroons?
Yeah, and do you think Lenny will pick up another job in the Premier League very soon?
Well, I know that he's a coach of high caliber, and I think sooner or later, because you have some clubs that are underperforming, there might be some heads rolling in the JPL soon and very soon. So Leonard Hyde will definitely be a candidate to be rehired in one of these positions. So it's definitely something to watch and see. Bro, it's so bad for Chapleton Maroons. Apparently, they're having tryouts. Today, their match has been postponed against Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, I can run out still.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Because Romeo Daniels just left and went to Veer.
Yeah, Roma Blake is not there. They have another keeper who is, all right. I've seen him play. He's all right. But run out, man, and see what can go on. You never know. And if you can't get the goalkeeping job, you never know you can manage a team.
You're right. Yeah. Chapton Maroons. Joe Margram from this side at Sports TV is formally submitting my application to be the next player coach. Son.
That's so bad. Some of the players would have had to leave anyways. No more than 5 amateur players can be on a match card on any given day. Yeah, this is an important thing though. I feel like after the schoolboy football season is over, and these boys are not restricted to being at Clarendon College training, some of them would probably spread their wings and play for other teams. So I suspect that would have happened anyway because only 5 players. I know of that rule. Only 5 amateur players can be on the match card. Obviously, they could rotate them, but some players would want to get more regular game time. So I suspect that would have happened anyway. But how do you feel about this rule, bro?
Yeah, but there are also a few senior players, the likes of Romeo Daniels and Malachi Douglas and
will be gone.
Hyde, who would have signed contracts because they're about to they have no more schoolboy football to play. So I'm not sure what would have stopped them from making that transition from amateur to being professional. So I think they would have been away.
The thing is, some people want to keep their NCA and the cards. They want to keep, college on the cards for them. So a lot of people, even when they're out of school and even when the schoolboy football season is over, they don't sign a pro contract because they want to make that next step or they want to at least keep the options open. But the rule itself, though, only 5 on a match card of what, 18?
Yeah.
How do you feel about R20? How do you feel about that?
What's the
Feel like
purpose?
that's too little, too much? Talk to me.
What's the purpose of it?
I guess them
Anti-exploitation.
could be that, or it could be making. No, it couldn't be making sure because it's not like they're saying you must have amateur players.
Yeah, them said.
So maybe it's to limit people just using all amateur players and
not having to pay them and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could be that. So if that is the rule, how do you feel about it? Because my thing is, I understand the rule, but I'd like to see more. If a team...
Do you understand it? We don't understand it because we're not sure as to why exactly. We're speculating at this point.
No, I don't understand the reason they instilled the rule, but I know what the rule is.
Yeah.
So would I want to see more amateur players playing in the JPL? Yeah, especially a team like Chapton Maroons, they would definitely profit from this. But they can only limit their team to having 5. And I'm saying if they had 6 or 7 or 8, that would be fine. But obviously, we'd love to speak to someone from the JPL and really understand why exactly this rule is in place. Fresh God said, think Lenny Hyde will take some time for now, but something for the future. Actually, Lenny Hyde is in Florida right now. He's with the All Schools team. Actually, they played a game tonight. I'm not sure how the game finished, but I know they drew their first game. I think they won the second game. The game tonight, I'm not sure how that went. But Lenny is in Florida coaching the All Schools team, so I think he's fine. What you say?
Yeah, apparently they're playing Inter Miami.
Inter Miami they played tonight?
Yeah. I know that Roma Blake would have scored. Speaking about this competition would have affected a few Premier League teams. Roma Blake is one of the best players on Waterhouse team. We saw Brian Burkett make his Premier League debut recently and then subsequently flying out to play with this team, this all Manning team. And,
All Schools.
All schools, man. Bro, the people that are killing me. Because
But where work with it?
Because they're already on me for being quote unquote biased to the Manning Cup. As I said, there's so many things that we can talk about tonight, bro. So many directions we can carry this.
I see an important comment and I want to talk about it. So Sherland Christie said, "Gents, I'm from Chapleton, and it pains my heart to hear about this mass exodus at my hometown team. These players obviously are not patriotic." Shake my head. I'm not so sure if I feel like I disagree with that one. I understand where you're coming from. Patriotic to what though? You're playing for a team, this is a job and this is a career.
Are they familiar with the fact that Clarendon College is one of the biggest importers of talent across the nation?
Yeah, so these boys are not.
A lot of these players that you'd have seen move to these town schools, to these town clubs, they're probably moving home. To be completely honest with you, they're probably going closer to home. Like we know the likes of like Reed, for example. He's not from Clarendon, and other players that would have gone to Clarendon College to play in the Costa Cup because of the same recruiting that we'd see the likes of Jamaica College do. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a lack of patriotism per se, simply because these players, their allegiance would be to Clarendon College, but not necessarily to Clarendon themselves. Because I'm pretty sure that a lot of these players would have been imported and would have been quote unquote bought from other schools from all over the country.
Yes, I can't go the patriotic one, and it could be them just standing up for the right thing or what they know should be the right thing. In fact, I read an interview. I didn't want to go down this road, but I read an interview with Lenny Hyde, and he was indulging in his emotions a little bit too much, but he kind of said that someone from the executive said to him that he took the players and played Bush League with them. I guess when he came to play the all Manning, all the Costa game, when a couple of the players came, I know 8 Clarendon College players were involved in that team, I think. And someone said to him from the club that he took the players and go play Bush League when they had a game the next day or the same weekend. So again, this club, I don't know if this club is run properly, but the amateur players, how do you feel about that, by the way? How do you feel about that? If you are a coach and you are you can tell the players what to do at this point. How do you feel about that? And if me and Lenny and man come tell me that, who they running me?
Being called up for an all-star game is a big deal.
Yeah, dog.
And let's face it, the Costa Cup is bigger than the Jamaica Premier League. Let's face it.
Straight up.
So
More
being
entertaining, more fanfare, more support, all of it.
So being called up for an all-star game for the Costa Cup or for schoolboy football in general, let's just face it, it's more significant than the Jamaica Premier League. And as such, I think what they deem to be the Bush League is a fixture in the schoolboy football. So for them, it would be a Da Costa Cup fixture or a schoolboy football fixture, which is bigger than any JPL fixture, except probably the finals or the playoffs.
And the man that earned this, bro.
Exactly. Everybody wants to be an all-star, and I don't share that sentiment. You know, by all means, these players should have gone and played. You know, people are complaining about how Lenny Hyde managed the players' minutes. You know, we did see some All Costa Cup players play excessive minutes. That could have probably been different. You know, but generally, I have no qualms with the players going to play in this competition.
Not at all. And so Fresh God say it's just 6 of the 14 players have left Maroon shouldn't have this player shortage. The thing is, the quality players are leaving. It's not even just the number of players, but some of the players that Dixon was Clarendon College's leading goal scorer. Reed is up there for one of their best players. Romeo Daniels is their best goalkeeper. You know, so it's some of the most important players and some of the best players that are leaving. All right. So Brian might say the team doesn't seem to have a structure or persons on the board. A current player in the team is the team manager. Again, the thing is, bro, Chapton Maroons are not doing great in Premier League. So we can't just scoff at that. They are not doing well. Something needs to be done. They needed to make some transfers. They need to get some better players in. They needed to give Lenny some time after the schoolboy football season to see how well the team would pick up. You know, give him a month or give him 3 or 4 more game weeks to see what would happen. You know, because the schoolboy football season just wrapped up. We saw the schoolboys having impact in the JPL. In fact, we speak about Waterhouse all the time where we see Blake come in and just Waterhouse start perform. You know, so them could have given some more time. But this player shortage and depending on Lenny Hyde and having schoolboys in the team and those 5 schoolboys rotating, and that's surely not how Chapton Maroons should be running as a team that is competing with Tivoli Gardens and Waterhouse and Harbour View and cover like that. That is not how you should be operating. So I have to agree with Brian Martin, man. I don't think this club is being run properly. And Lenny Hyde is one of the best coaches in Jamaica. He's one of the best local coaches. So if you're going to fire that man on the basis that he's mishandling the players that he brought to the team in the first place, I can't go there on that.
Can't.
Yes, Fresh got agreeing. All right, so the rule is one from CONCACAF. In order for the league to be run as a professional league, then there are a certain percentage of the players playing most of a professional contract.
Oh, well, there we go. That makes sense.
Fair. All right, so we spent a good amount of time on Lenny Hyde and that situation. Real quick, I'm going to run through the JPL standings just so we know what we're going. Right? And then we're going to transition to our next topic. People, if you guys want to talk about something else, let us know in the comment section. See? All right. So Cavaliers on 22 points at the top of the table. Playing 10 games and winning 7. Drawing once and losing twice. Not bad. Mount Pleasant and 21 in second. Arnett Gardens on 17. Humble Lions on 17. Harborview on 16. Dumbarton on 15. Portmore on 6 and 15 also. Mobile United on 15. Waterhouse on 13. Mullins United on 11. Tivoli Gardens on 10. Chapton Maroons on 8. Veer United on 7. And Falkland FC on 2 points. Chapton Maroons there on 8. And 6 would be the playoff spot. And Portmore in 6 spot is on. Dumbarton in 6 spot is on 15 points. So, not doing great. But decision was made from up top, and we have to work with that. Don't like decision at all, because it's not a coach that you just willy-nilly get rid of. Lenny Hyde is one of the best coaches in the country, and probably should have gotten some more time. Don't love it. All right. Let's talk about the next thing on the list. So, the camp that was held this week, we have to talk about that, and coming out of the camp, a lot of people, we saw an interview with the coach speaking about Whisper, and he was bombarded with the Whisper questions. Do you think we're getting ahead of ourselves? With this Whisper thing. We're getting ahead of ourselves for what? Because the coach calling up 32 players, most of them playing the JPL. There are other schoolboys getting the call up, but the coach faced so many questions and had to answer so many questions just about Whisper. Are we getting ahead of ourselves as people on YouTube, as a traditional journalist, and just as the supporters? What about?
We aren't getting ahead of ourselves because this kid is pedigree, and he has a big marketing machine behind him. So it is what it is. When not to compare Djean Richards with LeBron James, but when LeBron James goes to the All-Star game, his presser is the longest one, right? And people will ask the Lakers coach about LeBron James the most, and as such like that. So when you have a certain level of star power behind you, and you have the quality to back up that star power, that's what it is. And let's just face it, he is an enigma. Being 6'2", as fast as a track star, as powerful as a wrestler, as agile as a ballerina. He possesses all those physical characteristics in addition to the fact that he's technically gifted, so on and so forth. And he's very young. And he has a personality, like he has big personality, and his marketing team has done, be it good for him or bad for him, a good job in getting his name out there. So the coach just has to understand that there's a certain level of celebrity that comes along with Djean Richards. Whether he's overhyped or underrated, I don't think we're ahead of ourselves. I think the attention that he gets is absolutely warranted for all the reasons that I just expressed.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like it's a little bit too much. This was as I said, a 32-man training camp with a lot of very good players also. Players topping the local league, also schoolboys that stood out. And all the coach has to answer his question about Whisper. Don't get me wrong. Love the talent, I love the kid, but he's not where he's not at the finish line as yet. He's just a schoolboy. Obviously, this is the year. This is the year that it must happen. Next year, this time, we are talking about Whisper. It should be, in a pro setup. Yeah. You understand? So, sure. But at this present moment, he's not there yet. And the fact that the coach has to be bombarded with this. And obviously, we are playing our part in building up the celebrity of Whisper because of all of the reasons that he said a while ago. Yeah. But I feel like fans and everybody, we probably just need to chill out a little bit and give him some time to grow, give him some time to get there. Because at the end of the day, he's still just 17 years old. We haven't heard any concrete, links and anywhere that he should be going in. So I feel like I wouldn't say that we are too far ahead of ourselves, but we have to chill out a little bit. Like, come on. And I asked him the other day, and I was on a live with him. I asked him, is the pressure getting to you? And he said, no. No, how good he is. No, I'm not going to do. I'm confidence. And all of that, and you're supposed to say that. Whether you believe it or not, you have to say that. And from his demeanor, from his play, I don't think the pressure is getting to him. But at some point, every time you turn on the TV, you see a name, Every time I go up on the road, people are say something to you. You got have one training session with the coach. Suppose he never play bad, and the coach had to speak about that. So as a talent that we're supposed to be fostering, I just feel like the public can ease off a little bit. Not like.
So what do you recommend?
Easing off, give him some time, man. Give him some time to get there.
Don't talk about the Djean Richards.
No, not at all. But whenever we have to do our jobs in talking about it. But I'm talking about the fact that the coach was faced with so many questions. I was looking at it and I'm like, so nobody else never did it. Clearly I Whisper loaded that trail. Trust me, Whisper my baller. Love watch Whisper play. But may I say at the end of the day, bro, he's just 17 years old. You don't have to ask about him. I have to ask a question them, but it can't be 90% of the coach person. It can't. It can't. I feel like it can reach to a point where if Whisper get called up in the national team, you gotta have people that say, sort of thing. You get me? I say when he's just, not there to be to be causing all that problems yet. You get me? I say he's not there to be facing, for the coach to be facing 90% of the questions about Whisper yet. If this was Liam Bailey, we couldn't say no. Liam Bailey is there and it would be warranted, but the coach held that he's one of the best prospects in the country, but he's just that, a prospect. We actually have players that are like a Ramon Owella. We have players in the country that are doing well, that are just on the fringes of actually making it into the squad. But come on. The youth, I believe he will get there. I believe he will.
And I reiterate to you, what are your recommendations? Is it that is it the federation have to say 5 questions pertaining to the Djean Richards, or because when I go, I'm going to ask about Whisper, and Reggae Boyz coming, she's going to ask about. So what do you recommend? Just me and Simon talk and say, here was Simon, you gotta ask about Whisper, me not gonna ask about Whisper. What do you recommend? How does this rectify?
I'm not saying there's a deliberate active conversation between the journalists. I'm just saying if you're there and you see that all the coaches being asked about, you're telling me it is not now part of your job to analyze the situation and see that there are other things to ask about? No?
Other things to ask about that are going to get you paid?
Yeah, their job. What do you mean that are going to get you paid?
The job ultimately is to get paid. And that's what's going to put that. That's what I said. That the reason why I don't think it's overwhelming is because the marketing machine that's behind of Djean Richards is the reason why Djean Richards is spoken about as much as he is. Because at the end of the day, we speak about Djean Richards, we get clicks and we get paid. And I'm not talking about ourselves, I'm talking about everybody on the platform. I'm talking about TVG and CVM, I'm talking about Sportsmax. Sportsmax has made so much money off Djean Richards.
No, you have to talk about him. That's not what I'm saying. But now I say we don't have to talk about you. As he's a prospect, he's an enigma, as you say a while ago. So we have to talk about him. But 90% of the questions have to be about him in a 32-man squad with a new coach that is about to take on Jamaican football. That's all I say. It just came after me. He rubbed me the wrong way. So I have to talk about him. Obviously, it's going to be dominated. Now, if you're going to ask about players,
who else in a local camp are we going to talk about?
Say I tell me, say none of the 32 man them know we're talking about. The question is just it just make me start wonder. Are we putting too much pressure on this kid? That's just the question I wonder. He's 17 years old, he's not there yet. Are we putting too much pressure on the kid? Are we putting too much pressure on the coaching staff? Are we? It's a fair question. Number one guy said every press conference be like that. Fair. Also said I agree. Why not ask the same about Malachi Douglas? So no, this is the road that we can't go down. Malachi Douglas is not Whisper. Malachi Douglas is up there. He's one of the best footballers in the country. He's one of the best prospects in the country. But he's not Whisper. So now I say if we ask the same amount of questions or ask about Whisper about everybody else. That's not what I'm saying. Whisper can dominate the pressers. I'm just saying every question has to be about him. Like are we propping him up to be so?
Let me just say this to you. Had this been the original Reggae Boyz first team with the likes of Andre Blake and Ravel Morrison and Leon Bailey, Djean Richards would not have received so many of the questions.
Say what?
So many questions would not be about Djean Richards had Leon Bailey and Damien Lowe and Andre Blake and Ravel Morrison been in the squad. He would not have gotten so many questions. At the end of the day, they're there to do their job, and there's a lot of things that they need, which is their job, to find out about Djean Richards. Their job is not to find out about
It is their job. You can't tell me that.
Somebody
It
else.
is their
I can't even. I'm trying to think. You already mentioned how well I know that there are other schoolboys there. I'm not even familiar without looking on the list of the other local based players that were introduced in the camp. Their
Don't
job
get me wrong.
their job is what they're assigned to do, and if their assignment is to go out and write stories, and those stories are supposed to get clicks, and those videos that are supposed to be posted are supposed to get views, that is their job,
When
and
I say no,
that's
it's
exactly
a
what they went out and they did their job.
you can't make clicks and views dictate every single thing we do. At some point, you have to be good at your job. At some point. So don't get me wrong, people. I'm not saying that you're not for talk.
Mm.
I am here and every week we're going to talk about Whisper from this point until him sign the contract. It have to happen because he's that special. So that's not what I'm saying. But now I say we're not for talk about you. To have to talk about you. He's special. What may I say? Should we just dial it back a little bit and give him some space to breathe, give him some space to work on what he's working on and get to where we want him to get to?
I
Rather
think if
than building up all this hype, putting him on this pedestal, and if him don't hit the heights or want him to hit, then we see him one team down. Is this what we're setting up? Because we see it with other players, man. We see it where them get propped up, and then them don't hit the heights, and then start dragging them back down. So all me I say is make we take it easy. The youth special and everybody knows them special. You see me? Obviously, we are the our part. I see somebody even say,
one second.
the YouTube medium is giving the youth a false sense of celebrity. It's not, man, it's not even just the YouTube celebrity. Everybody love the kid. You see the man are playing a all-star game. I want to ask for him sacks and ask for hug. The youth special. And him have a type of personality. Him have a commanding personality. He has that celebrity thing about him. You see me? So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we should talk about it. But I'm just afraid that we're going to prop him up, sorry. And when if he doesn't hit the heights, which I'm pretty sure Whisper will get there. No, but give him some space, man. The kid is 17 years old. He's a schoolboy, for God's sake. And obviously they said that he would play one more year of schoolboy football. But under normal circumstances, he would have another year. You know, and all of this talk, you know, all this interest about where will he go would not be there because he would be in schools of people. Should we just dial it back? Answer in the comment section. Are we propping him up a little bit too much? Are we talking about him a little bit too much? You know, is it is it fair for the coach to be bombarded with all these questions about Whisper? Is there nobody else to talk about? You know, obviously there's nobody else as popular right now in Jamaican football. But is there nothing else for them to ask the coach? You know, you think that's fair to the coach and are we propping up the youth a little bit too much? Let me know in the comment section, people. Number one guy say it's not comparing. It's just Whisper is clearly the face. It's clearly the face of, schoolboy football. Could ask about some other players, and Douglas is also a schoolboy. Yeah, other players could and should be asked about because there are other promising players. And there are some young players too in the squad. You know, I took the time to look at the average age in the squad, and a lot of the players, I think only 10 players are over the age of 25. You know, so there are some young players in the squad and some promising youth in the squad. If this was a regular camp, it would have been worse because his call-up would be a bigger deal. Yeah, definitely. And remember, you know, earlier, you know, in the season, I was saying that Whisper should get a call-up. Not because he is one of the best forwards, because I don't think he's quite there yet. You know, we have Andre Greer, we have Mikel Antonio, we have Liam Bailey, and even below that, we have the Turgots and the Flemings, where Whisper is just not there yet. You know, so I'm not saying he is one of the 23 or 25 best Jamaican footballers right now. What I'm saying is we understand that he's up next. So why not blood him from now? Because in 4 years' time, he will be important for us, and I truly believe that. You know, so if this was a case where the kid was called up to the national team, which I believe he should get a call up, oh my God. But again, we see schoolboy get called up. It would be unprecedented. We see Tyreek Jimenez get called up. We see Christopher Pearson get called up. You know, so Campbell. Make us see. It's not unprecedented, but I give him to look like a different type of man right now. Read this one a while ago. Even Whisper himself says schoolboy football is rubbish. So why is he being touted as the GOAT when schoolboy football is all he's played? You can take another one, bro.
Whisper is not being touted as the goal. First and foremost, let me just rubbish that claim straight off the bat. Nobody in their right mind is saying Whisper is the GOAT, unless they're saying he's the GOAT of schoolboy football, which It's arguable that he is. But if you're going to speak about the GOAT as in,
That you say, boy?
yeah, yeah, but the question was why is he being touted as the GOAT if schoolboy football is trash, which is implying that he's not talking about the GOAT of schoolboy football.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's using a bit of hyperbole, but nobody's saying Whisper is. I'm not saying Whisper is a top footballer, a top Jamaican footballer right now. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying meritoriously, Djean Richards deserves a call up in a 23 man based on how good he is in terms of the level of football that he plays right now. I'm not saying that either. However, Djean Richards' ability to and him demonstrating his dominance over schoolboy football is more than enough evidence to show that he's one of the best locally based footballers, if not the best locally based footballer right now in the country. I think that might be a bit of a stretch. I think there's some older players that are in their prime that are slightly better than he is. But he's definitely one of the best locally based football players right now. However, when you compare him to the players that are Jamaican but represent other clubs located in other parts of the country, fully professional clubs, those players are better than he is. So I don't think Whisper is a top 30 or a top 40 Jamaican player right now. Nobody's saying that. But what we're saying is that what he showed in schoolboy football, which is not necessarily that good of a competition as compared to where he will be playing, simply shows how good he is, especially when compared to these other local based players. But nobody's touting Whisper as the goal. I'm not saying Whisper should start in the Azteca versus Mexico in March. I'm not saying that. I don't think anybody in their right mind would be saying that when we have the ability to boast a front three of Leon Bailey, Shamar Nicholson, and Bobby Reed, right? Whisper doesn't get into that front three.
Nowhere close to it. Not even close to it. And even below that level, bro, we have the Turgots
Exactly. So
some of those
nobody's
close.
nobody's touting Whisper as the GOAT, unless we're saying that he's the GOAT of schoolboy football, which he may well be. You know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of schoolboy football that we didn't see. But as far I can only speak, from my perspective and what I have seen. Whisper is the greatest schoolboy football I have seen. And I've probably seen what little over, let's say 15 years of schoolboy football when we can really understand what man. Whisper the greatest me ever see, as far as me can remember. But again, people, I want you guys to understand our position. I don't like when we're misunderstood. Again, what Joe Murray is saying is not that Whisper is the best thing since sliced bread. He's not saying that he's one of the best 23 Jamaican right now. He's not saying, even as you say, well, I go here, you say something, but you just go over it. Probably need to break that down a little bit. You say at his level, right? So you say at the under 20, you mean not that under 20 level?
I said local. Under 20, he's the best player under 20. I said locally based Jamaican footballers. He's one of the best locally based Jamaican footballers. I don't necessarily think he's the best locally based Jamaican footballer. I think we can count a handful of players who might be better than him locally based. But at any age group, he's one of the best locally based players. And we see the likes of Roma Blake absolutely stand out in the like Roma Blake is a standout in the Jamaica Premier League. Like, are we not seeing that? And Djean Richards and Roma Blake played in the same competition, though comparing defenders to forwards. A couple of seasons ago, it was clear that Virgil van Dijk was the best player in the English Premier League, unequivocally, right? And he was a defender playing in the same competition with the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Harry Kane, so on and so forth. But Van Dijk was still the best player. So I think it is fair to compare Romain Blake to Djean Richards, considering that they're both top players at their level, top Manning Cup players. And I think we can safely say that Djean Richards was, I wouldn't say considerably, but he was definitely a fair bit better than Romain Blake was in terms of impact, contribution, and just raw talent and ability to do what it is that they do on the field. And Romain Blake is absolutely standing out in the JPL. So don't we think that Djean Richards would have absolutely stood out in the JPL had he gone there and played? So I think it's safe to say that he's one of the best locally based players in the nation. But I hold assertion that our local competition is not very good. and it's not at a very high level. And I think we have over 60 players playing internationally, and I think it's almost safe to say that almost all of those players playing internationally are better than everybody playing locally,
Yeah,
if not
yeah.
all of them. So I don't think Whisper is a top 30 Jamaican player, but bro, he may be top 40.
And he's 17, and that's the point. That
Exactly.
is the point. So if he's for even if he's 50 and 17,
Yeah.
that tells us that in 4 years he'll probably be closer to 23, and he'll probably closer to 10. Now, if he's 17 right now and just turned 17 and that close to the pack, what will he be in 4 years? He'll be important to our World Cup chance. So people, that's what we're saying. That's our position on it. Jeremy Mitchell, Whisper need to prove himself against this camp to see him really ready for a true call up. Yeah, I don't think the call up will come
And that's
right.
exactly that's exactly why the camp was held.
Yeah, if he doesn't stand out in the camp, then he will not get called up. He will not get called up based on the schoolboy football season. I don't believe so. I really
And
don't believe so.
and even if indeed he did stand out in the camp, it probably still wouldn't warrant him
He
a
probably
call up,
still
because
won't come.
I'm not sure how many people from that camp will get a call up. And that's probably something that we should do. It's coming closer to March. We can just spitball at 20, I think it's 26 players that we think we'll see in May, in March, sorry.
Yeah, we can do that, and I don't think. Obviously, I'd give Whisper the 26th passes, but I would
Yeah,
personally give
and not based upon merit, but based upon
not great.
the fact that he's next.
Yeah,
However, I've been a staunch advocate for no local based players in my team. So
exceptions are made.
before I give the spot to the Djean Richards, and I'm going to say this loudly and proudly, I would sooner give it to Canada Boys Clark. I'd sooner give it to Jamari Clark. I'd sooner give it to Omari
How
Hutchinson.
much spot the average in Kaya? I've waiting him there, no? Richard
That
King, I give a spot there, no?
that's what I'm saying. So before I'd give that 26th spot to the Djean, I'd sooner give it to Kanaya or Jamari or Omari, or you get what I say? Because those players ply their trade internationally. And I
Yeah.
did say that I believe that the national team should be only consisted of players who are playing outside of the country. So in that regard, I probably wouldn't have given Whisper the 26th spot, but definitely somebody who will indeed be a part of Jamaica setup now and going forward.
Yeah. Uh, Number one guy. The coach will be seeing Whisper closely. So if he impresses highly, he might go up the ranks also of his age. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I said a while ago. Don't think he will come off schoolboy football. I don't think this coach will mess around with call-ups or call are concerned. But we will see. Number one guy, I think Jomar like this one. Roma Blake is a little underrated. Take on that one.
Bro, I've been saying that. I rush. I'm not sure. Are you me that saying
You
underrated?
know, we'll have the conversation, man.
Are you saying perfectly rated?
I think he's perfectly rated.
And I was like, uh, yo, bro, people make the argument, and I've been hearing this argument by Sports Max. We need to set up a debate with Zone and this or that Sports TV.
I love it.
I think this or that Sports TV would have taken on anybody from Zone, any analyst from Sports Max. People click that and tag Sports Max now on the Instagram. Where this or that Sports TV are call out members of Sports Max for a debate. Anyways, separate and aside, I've always heard I've always heard the dialogue, the rhetoric that the players in the Manning Cup to watch, or the two standout players, are Djean Richards and Shaquan Satchel. And then to compound that, I've heard about the likes of Makwan Aldrich, I've heard about the likes of Kevin Wilson, I've heard about other players, other standout players who are really good, Brian Burkett, so on and so forth. Don't get me wrong, these are all good players. But one player that I've not heard thrusted into that conversation, who I believe, barring Whisper, is better than every name that I just mentioned, is Roma Blake. And that is why I think he's not only a little underrated, but criminally underrated. Dude, Roma Blake was the best passer of the ball in the whole schoolboy football competition I dare anybody who is watching right now to find a better candidate than Romain Blake, a better person on the pass, a better person with weight of pass, a better person with range of pass. The only thing that people might compete, like I think Jamani Bell, I think Saka, and I think Denzel Washington McKenzie might have vision,
Yeah.
like the ability to Shaquan Satchel, the ability to spot runs, and even Mattis. Mattis is really good at that this season as well. But in terms of the ability to pass the ball, to hit that ball perfectly over 4 yards or 40 yards, there's nobody who does it better than Romain Blake. In addition to the fact that he was just simply the best defender. His eye for the ball is outstanding. He barely ever goes to the ground, and when he goes to the ground, he's going to win that tackle. Like think about it, Romain Blake, don't be giving away fouls like that unless the professional foul him and recover for him teammate. Him don't foul, him stay on him foot, him toe with the ball. So I think he's a combination. Like Alex Xavier Gooden was a solid defender, but not as technically gifted, right? Xavier Davidson was composed, but probably not as solid a defender. And Romain Blake has all of these abilities combined, in addition to the fact that he's such a good passer. Number one guy, I disagree with you when you say Romain Blake is a little underrated, because he's not a little underrated, he's criminally underrated. Sorry, I had to make that grand soliloquy speaking about Romain Blake because I don't think he's spoken about enough.
Yeah, and where I probably is mistaken. I rate him highly. You rate him highly. People I have conversations with rate him highly. But when you're going to speak about the other channels or the traditional media and who they're speaking about,
Yeah,
it's not Romain Blake being the best player or being in the top 3 players in the money.
yeah,
And from that perspective, I definitely see what you're saying in terms of him being underrated. But I feel like from the local, from the supporters standpoint, from the people watching the games, I've been beside people and them say, "Whoa, what a pass!"
incredible.
Every single game that I watch with Romain Blake, I say, "Whoa." I've said, "Whoa." You remember
Everyone.
that? You remember that first round game with St. Diego?
Yeah.
They almost getting an argument when him do something. A ball come through and the man piled forward, bro.
Yeah.
The man piled forward as the centre back. I mean, I talk about inner
And
field.
then he made one of those cutting Aaron Ramsdale, Edison type passes where
Yeah,
he
I think
goes
back on
straight through the middle all the way to the forward. Half time pile the man.
And me I say, what the hell is this kid doing? We watch games already, crunch time. And where Romain Blake had to juggle the ball before him out it or something. Where him just knows I'm good enough to do it. Him not sure about it, You say, all right, yeah, me can swing my foot through the ball out right now. But if I pop it up a little bit, we can get better connection. We can make a better pass. And him cerebral with it. Like him can play football. You get me? I said, so he's definitely right now I'm off the fence. They are good defenders in schoolboy football. We'll talk about Hodges, we'll talk about Gooden, we'll talk about Mitchell from Mona. Romain Blake is the best defender in schoolboy football. I saw him play in central midfield the first game the all schools team played. Yeah. He didn't look too bad. Obviously positionally sometimes he was out of position.
Yeah.
I saw that. I picked up on that. But in terms of his passes were on point. His tackling, he won some tackles. So in terms of people speaking about him in the media, definitely underrated. If that's the standpoint you're coming from, definitely underrated. But from the match going supporters, I feel like we rate Romain Blake. And I think I'm speaking for majority of people. And let's see what people in the comment section are saying. Oh, important commentary. Very interesting. So South Cry said, is the title best footballer reserved only for forward/attacking players? There is a bias. No, it's not reserved. But be honest, bro, there's a bias, bro.
Wait, bro. First of all, before you answer, I like this segment, and people keep on proposing interesting topics there. Because to be fair and to be honest, we did come into this live with like a vague outline, but it's not necessarily anything hard and fast. So keep on proposing these things, and let's just have a football discussion.
Try talk to. We want to talk to. Obviously, soon we'll have callings, but no, we are responding to the topics.
I was going to say something, but the outline that we had, it can go through the window, people. Just continue, because like this is like good discussion and good dialogue. Is the title of best footballer only
reserved for forward/attacking players.
Do you mean best footballer ever, or do you mean best footballer right now, or do you mean like best footballer of a game? Because
All of it. The man mean all of
no,
it.
because as I said, Virgil van Dijk was the best footballer in the Premier League.
Exception.
Like
Exception.
Yeah,
Exception.
that's why I'm asking you to tell me all of them. I
No.
just ask you and you tell me all of them.
There's room for exception, you know. But that don't mean it is the rule. And most times, bro, there's a bias to attacking players. It's easier to say an attacking player is the best player in the world or the best player in the game because he's the one scoring the goals. He's the one he's the one making glaring decisions in the game to affect the game directly. And defenders' impact on a game can go underappreciated. Even from supporters and fans like today, Arsenal's performance. Nobody really even understands how well Gabriel played today. Zinchenko and what he did today. You know, but when we talk about Eddie Nketiah or talk about Bukayo Saka, it's easy to just say, oh, Eddie Nketiah was the man of the match. Best player today. You understand? Even though other players were just as good, but they're not the one kicking the ball.
To be fair, in the last game, Ramsdale was given the man of the match.
Yeah,
and he was the best player against Tottenham. And in today's game, as good as Gabriel was, as good as Zinchenko was, Saka was the best player on the field today. And that's why he was given the man of the match. So
do people speak about them? People give defenders the plaudits what them deserve. And to your point, why people are say, why you say Roma Blake underrated?
Yeah. No, there's definitely a bias.
People don't speak about defenders as much as they speak about attackers.
There's definitely a bias, but to his proposal, I don't think it's reserved. The defenders just have to work a bit harder for it, for sure.
It's reserved unintentionally. Like them not say, oh, that we have to do, but even subconsciously, because
I just believe that if a defender puts himself on the level to receive that as I said, I don't think it's reserved. I think the defenders have to work a tad bit harder for it than the attackers. Or considerably harder for it. Not a tad bit harder. Defenders have to work harder for it.
They have to work harder, but people who make these decisions, they have to put a little bit more thought in it, bro. But attackers give us more moments in a game, and that is why. But me hear your South cry. Me hear you. And in fact, me agree with you. People, it's easy to say, yo, attackers are the best this and the best that. But defenders are very important to the game. Even goalkeepers. And you probably understand that one day. But I won't leave my comments are forward, bro. So I'm going to just browse through a couple of them. So
let's go.
All right, so even Whisper himself said, all right, read that one already. All right, here we go. All right, so keep Whisper around the camp, even if he's not playing. That will help him grow.
That's the most.
Yeah. I feel like if we're have 26, just give him the 26 spot and keep him around it because he's next.
I disagree with that because, as I said,
if me ever do that, Me ever do that. Me that give me 26 spot.
Why wouldn't you to Jamar Clark, who is 1 year older than Whisper? You get me? I said that's the point that I am trying to make. So I wouldn't give Djean Richards the 26th spot because Jamaica, we have some very good, talented youngsters that are playing internationally right now. We have Jamar Clark, who is playing professionally at Reading in the championship, and he's getting good game time. And he's
Boys Clark, Lembiska.
Well, Boys Clark should be the third goal. Hands down, Boys Clark should be nailed on, and I think Boys Clark is good enough to make this team. But yeah, as I said, I don't think I'd give Djean the 26th spot unless him implement himself in a solid academy system, because we do have players who are there at that level proving themselves day in and day out, who are not very much older than he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, South Card upon a rant, man. I forgive my next shout out. I think we get too excited about individual players and not about our team game. And the thing is, a lot of people watch football for the moments, bro. A lot of people actually watch football for the salad and the pile, man, and a bad shoe pass. They don't really watch the tactics of the game. A lot of times we're at games and we say, you see that, you see this, you see that, because we are trying to watch the team. But a lot of people, and to be fair to them they're there for the entertainment factor.
That's why football is for everybody to understand. There's this argument that we had, Rush. Not an argument, and maybe I wasn't having it with you, but I was saying, there's somebody who was saying, oh, that person there only watch football because of World Cup time. And I'm like, generally me being a stickler, me probably being a prick, probably uptight, as some people might refer to me as, I have no problem with the World Cup fan. Like, the only problem I have is picking a team that is not your country. But like, in terms of people, like in terms of people who don't watch football, I think it's absolutely okay to be head over heels in love with football, if only for the 1 month during the World Cup. Like I'm absolutely fine with that because there's just something about the World Cup. You know, it's the greatest show on earth. So it's the same thing with some people who might not be as hardcore football fans as we are, and some people who might not be as knowledgeable of the game as we are. Them just getting it for the moment, you know, for the player, like for Messi,
Purely
like
entertainment.
a lot of people watch this World Cup simply because of Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Ask them to name two other players on this Argentinian team, and they could not. But best believe them watch all 7 games, and they saw all 7 goals, or all right, and they would
Yeah.
have seen all the assists, and they'd have seen all the moments, and them could have tell you when him take Guardiola and him cut inside and pass about to Alvarez, they could have tell you as though they were savants of football because they were watching for the individual or for the moments, and that's also fine.
Yeah, it's
So I,
fine.
I have no problems with people who watch the game like that.
Yeah.
No.
Number one guy again. Blake is actually a smart baller.
Oh my
We barely have those in Jamaica. No lie. Yeah, we here rate Jermaine Blake highly, man.
oh my
Um,
goodness.
Tariq Brown, right now, Mikel Antonio and Ravel them wash up, age and catch up, start push some youths around the team. And Mr. Rudolph Speed said something to me the other day. I was on Ryan's show and he said something. So generally the teams that win the World Cup or do well in the World Cup, their average age I think is around 26 or something like that, 27. And right now I think our average age is above that. So he must say, we need to start.
It depends on the squad, bro. The average age of the most recent squad.
No, generally you talk about the rule. Like the rule is the teams that does the
Yeah, but
best.
you said our average age is above that, and I'm saying it depends on the squad that's called up at a particular time.
Generally, bro. Right now we age over 26, over 27. If we look at most of the players in our squad, and he must say, even if they're 26 right now, we are thinking about 2026. So right now, he must say we need to start looking on the 22-year-olds and the 23-year-olds that are Jamaica that are standing out across the world. And these are the players that are going to be important for us in the next.
100%.
You see me? So how many of these players can we keep around? Because Tariq Brown, that's a very important point. Mikel Anthony, Ravel Morrison, Damian Lowe, Ethan Pinnock, Bobby Reed.
Andre Blake.
Bobby can't keep Bobby. I put Bobby Reed out there.
Bobby Reed and them are the same age.
No, but we just keep him out there because when I see Bobby Reed in that group there where is a decline. Like, I think some of them man may talk about get any better. Like Mikel Antonio and Andre Gray. Like, I think anything.
No, all right, let me tell you. Andre Blake, Andre Gray, Mikel Antonio.
Yeah.
Those guys are Adrian Mariappa. Those guys they're approaching their mid-30s, right? And then below them, you have the Ravel Morrisons, you have the Daniel Johnsons, you have the Damian Lowe's, the Ethan, the Bobby Reed, huh?
Andre Blake.
No, Andre Blake is in the.
Oh, yeah, you put him in at the top. But a goalkeeper. A goalkeeper.
So you give him like a 3-year handicap?
Yeah, for give him a handicap. Andre Blake will play till him at 37, 38.
All right, so we can put Andre Blake with the 28th then.
Yeah, that's what I say. Him in below that. How much of them we have to keep?
Yes, so I'm saying the over 31. So the Andre Grays, as you said, omit Andre Blake from that. I would keep Andre Blake in that, but you said omit him from that. So the Mariappas, the Andre Grays, the Mikel Antonios, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing some. Probably. Let me try to remember. Right now it eludes me. Adrian Mariappa, I'm pretty sure I said that before. Yeah, those guys are the over 30. And then we have the 28s and the 27s. That's Bobby Reeds, the Ethan Pinnocks, the Ravel Morrisons, the Daniel Johnston. And so then right below them is where I think we have the nice 25s, 26s.
How much below that? Good. How much are the 26 right now and above? How many of the players in the Jamaican squad that are 26 and above are we thinking about keeping for the next time? Come on, I think we need more than 4.
4?
Think about it. If we are thinking about the World Cup in 2006, I say the Gold Cup this year.
26, yeah.
2026. I talk about the Gold Cup this year.
Yeah. So you think 32 is too old?
Andre Gray, bye.
Yeah, but Andre Gray is 32. So he's. Everybody in the top class there, bye. Everybody in the top class, bye. We are talking about the 28th now.
The 28th. The 28th.
Exactly. Who do you say?
Daniel Johnson. May I pick Ravel? You see me, when I go down again, me I keep Ethan Pinnock, me I keep Ravel, me I keep Damian Lowe.
Bobby Reed. Bobby Reed is in that age group.
Give me 5. Give me 5. Give me 5.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Bobby
And
Reed nobody.
Huh?
Bobby Reed and Andre Gray. Nobody. And
What about Greg Lee?
Andre Blake.
How about Greg Lee?
No.
27.
No. We need to find better. Look at our other wing backs. Try to get the man them from England bridging and start now. We can't go into the next World Cup with be a 30-year-old. No, it not gonna work. But anyways, let's move on. We are read comments. People, a good conversation for upstairs.
I think it work. I think it'll be fine.
You think it'll be fine?
I'm not trying to win the World Cup.
Another man saying Roma Blake is the best CDM/centre back in Jamaican schoolboy football right now, and I can bet my life on that. Damn.
I'll bet Rush's life on it too.
No, bet my life, Bridget. Don't bet my life. My life over here is so good. Sports, big up yourself, Magina. Say a word.
Yeah, but that's 100% facts. He's criminally underrated. The kid is so good.
Yeah. All right. So we have a comment from Carl Brown. Now we have to stop us a little bit. Him like him Carl Brown. All right. So only two don't rate local league. If there are no local league, Jamaica can't play international football. Only ever play football, pure garbage in the chat. All right. First of all. Calm down. We're here having some good conversation. If you disagree with us, no problem. What am I saying? Don't get past the line.
Virgin, Jamaica local leagues aren't ready, bro. And there's no player in Jamaica local league that can make our national team.
And if you disagree with that, then fine. You see me?
Then him a chat garbage. If you disagree with that, then pure garbage, him a chat.
I don't, bro. You know much players, Jamaica. You know how many players are overseas right now? Professional.
At least 60.
That are Jamaican or have Jamaican heritage. And we're talking about our local JPL league. Don't get me wrong, the money are baller. Me can't walk in them money shoes. They get me me not good like some of them money left toe, like Earl Simpson left toe. They get me I say, I don't probably even know only Earl Simpson. And that is the point that I'm making. They get me I say, me not good like some of them money, brother. You as a goalkeeper not good like some of them money. It's just the fact of it. But there are so many other players that are ahead of them. And if we're talking about the best to represent the country,
dude,
how can we be looking at
consider we ahead of them? And you know what it is too? And this is why I think our national team have issues sometimes. And it happens in all national teams. But like even when they warm up, you can see the disparity between Junior Fleming and Leon Bailey. Now don't get me wrong, the things that Junior Fleming can do, oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. The way how him can control the ball, coming 50 feet from the air and take it down. But when you see Leon Bailey do it, it's like, geez Louise, right? And then when you put Junior Fleming up against, give me a local central, bro, please.
Or
a local attacking player.
Who?
Like
who against who?
Junior Fleming against like a local winger.
Right now, you put him up against Nicholas Hamilton.
Exactly, Hamilton. Right? It would be night and day. So there is a disparity even within the players that we have playing internationally. Junior Fleming is a full professional making a complete living off of football. And then when you put him up against Ravel Morrison, night and day. Night and day. You get me I say? And Junior Fleming absolutely made light work of the local football competition. For sure how lowly the Jamaica local football competition. No, don't get me wrong. Do I want to see Jamaica local football grow to the level where we can say, all right, it's in league with Costa Rica?
100%.
And then after it's in league with Costa Rica, then we can say, all right, it's in leagues with the USL. And after reaching
USL, people in Costa Rica can't make a squad. Right now. I not say they should or they shouldn't. But we not see them get called. We have people in these places. People in Vietnam can't make a squad.
And the Costa Rican league is better than ours.
Exactly. We have Kaim Paris who just start getting called up them with it. And he's been in Europe for a little while. They get me I say, so there are players so far in the JPL players who now say their money no good. Their money are baller in the grand scheme of things. But if we are talking about our national team, the JPL players are nowhere close to the man them where we are playing.
And 100%. Ask me if the JPL is important. Of course, the JPL is important. That's why we see the likes of Daniel Greens and the Atafire Biograph, who unfortunately, are back in the JPL. But they would have used the JPL as a springboard to get to where they are. So the JPL is important. And local football, the local leagues are important as a stepping stone. But the local league is not very good, and it's not good enough to have players from the local league that go directly into the national team. I think you have to make the step overseas in order to be eligible for the national. So that don't mean somebody don't rate local football. I rate it exactly for what it is. As
And that
proven.
and that also doesn't mean that they aren't exceptions, because we have no problem with Richard King being in the national team for the last couple of windows. We have no problem with Amal Knight being in the national team. You get me? I say, like, there are exceptions, but for the most part, a majority of the players are just not good enough to make national team. And Carl Brown, if you disagree with that, G, sorry, but respectfully or rather disrespectfully, a pure garbage water. All right, so ready for move on? So Unseen Sports remain a quality.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
yeah. Unseen. Roma Blake was part of Inter Miami Academy. David Beckham told him he has the quality to make it to the next level. Yeah, Roma Blake definitely has the quality to make it to the next level.
Bro, Roman Blake is so good. You get me? I say, like, I'm ridiculously impressed with him. And every day more and more I see him. Every day more and more I see him, bro. I'm closer to whisper. Every time I see him play, it's like he just reached that level there.
We had a conversation and we watched him. I don't remember which JPL game, but we don't watch it. Zin, and
Yeah.
we say, yo, like, it's like both of them think the same thing at the same time. That behind Whisper, who is the next player under 18 years old or under 19 or under 20 years old in Jamaica that is a surefire pro? Romain Blake is the next one behind Whisper. And I honestly believe that. Obviously, there are players in the JPL that obviously didn't stand out in the Manning Cup and that they're doing well now. A lot of players that we don't even know that got caught up to this scam. But behind Djean Richards, and we have a lot of players that we're going to talk about too. Behind Djean Richards, obviously, me really believe, say, Blake is the next one to make it pro. I know you agree with that.
100%.
All right, Dan Hugh, a quality too. Yeah, Dan Hugh Mitchell, really good.
He's right below those to make it to pro.
Yeah,
I think in the grand scheme of things he might be, bro. This season, especially in the Manning Cup, and that might be a biased statement because I didn't see a lot of the Costa Cup, but there are a few players that I can say will follow in the likes of Christopher Pearson and Tyreek Zimenez and eventually sign pro contracts in very short order. Romain Blake being one of them. Think about it, bro. Romain Blake is not yet eligible to sign a professional contract internationally.
Nope. Big years coming up. The most complete. Oh, MG Sports TV. Big up yourself, Gune. You know what I think? The most complete player in schoolboy football is Malachi Douglas. Centre back, CDM, CM, and Cam. The best centre back, Blake. The best forward, Whisper. The best midfielder, Malachi Douglas. Not a bad assessment. And Guna know what I'm talking about.
No, and bro, that's
spot on.
I tend to agree. Yeah. Because we saw Malachi Douglas play, and Malachi Douglas is extremely versatile.
First of all, Malachi Douglas score goal. Second of all, Malachi Douglas break up play. Third of all, Malachi Douglas is top 3 technician in terms of passing that ball, range of passing. He's up there with the best of them in schoolboy football.
I think on his team though, he might be the second best passer to Devonta Hodges, another centre back who is very
Douglas can pass, bro.
Yeah.
He can pass. Obviously, them use Hodges a little bit more if he play the long ball.
Yeah. Malachi Douglas more on the short passes.
Yeah, and that late run to the box, that signature late run of his to the box to score goals, man, Guna spot on.
Yeah, I agree. Best goalkeeper, Guna. You never tell me that.
Yeah. What the best goalkeeper?
If you still watch Guna, tell me who you think is the best goalkeeper. I tend to agree with the best central defender, Romain Blake, the best midfielder, Malachi Douglas, and the best attacking players, Djean Richards. And I think he's spot on with those 3. I want to hear who you think is the best goalkeeper. Curious.
Actually, Unseen Sports are challenging him. Say, Dan Hugh to one of the most complete players.
Ooh, Dan Hugh Mitchell
not a bad show. It's that there's some good conversation we have tonight.
And then the Manning Cup bias for me is kicking in.
Yeah.
No one to listen to Hugh Mitchell.
Right now, I feel like Guna get that spot. I even not go around him.
Because Douglas is a natural midfielder. As compared to Dan Hugh Mitchell, who is, let's face it, he's a centre back.
From what you see from Malachi Douglas, you don't think he can play 10?
No, he's at 10.
I see him a box to box right now. I see him a score goal. He's a very good 8. You don't think he can play CDM?
Of course.
Complete player. Blake. You talk about Blake. Yeah. Whisper. Without saying. Yeah, more you're going to goalkeeper though.
Just curious.
Yeah. Unseen. He said, Dan Hugh complete player with the second highest goal scorer in the league. Yeah.
Skewed statistics. Statistics are inflated, and those statistics don't hold weight in this court of law. My apologies to
Why
anybody.
is no? Make us see if we can overrule this. Why they men want to wait and why are they skewed? All of the players played in the first round against teams, against these teams that they score a lot of goals against. Plus, people,
No.
the statement is misleading when people are gonna say, "Oh, centre back will score 20 goals." It is misleading because it's not like him score 20 goals from centre back.
Yeah.
More than move him to the forward position and him score 20. And then put him back during the game, which goes to his versatility, and it's something that I talk about all the time.
Which is exactly why we can be like, But as I said,
No,
I've seen him play. Boy, he scored 20 goals and get a couple of hat tricks in the Manning Cup first round. But when the Manning Cup really gets started, which is in the second round, he wasn't as prolific.
And he's not playing the majority of the games. You know, when
That's when it really matters. He wasn't as prolific when the Manning Cup really started. So
yeah, but you know,
those look, Djean Richards continued scoring goals. Brian Burkett scored a few goals in the second one. Shaquan Satchel absolutely showed his class when it really matters. Daniel Mitchell showed that he was a central defender, ultimately only scoring penalties the second one onwards. I don't hold, as I said, I rate Daniel Mitchell very highly. Daniel Mitchell absolutely annihilated Roma Blake. I think Roma Blake scored, what was it, 2 goals in the Manning Cup? 3 goals in the Manning Cup?
like that.
Daniel Mitchell scored way more than him, and I don't think Daniel Mitchell is a better central defender. In my opinion. My humble opinion.
Yeah. And bringing in goal scoring, talk about a defender. It not a hold much weight. Obviously,
It should hold weight, but as I said, just the way how Daniel Mitchell scores it is why it doesn't hold weight.
you know,
Sergio Ramos is one of the best defenders because he scores a lot of goals.
well, you know what me I gonna do for give Daniel Mitchell a notch on him shoulder, bro. The type of goals that he scores. Him score header, him score tap in, and him score the ball drop and me gonna kick it at the goal. Which a defender type of goal. So he have an eye for goal. You get me? I say so. I'm not gonna take away his
No,
goals.
but he might get them off for like true passes and early squares and stuff like that, which defenders wouldn't be getting them off for. You think about that?
Yeah, but players are forward, so fair.
Exactly. So I don't think
if versatility is the conversation, yeah.
But that was the conversation, but we gave it to Douglas, didn't we?
Yeah. I'm not gonna change it. All right, so going on with another take, because see if this one is unpopular. The 2 players with the highest IQ in schoolboy football is Douglas and Blake. Guna your work tonight, man. Who you gonna get that?
I want to say, and people might beat me for this. You see that boy named Shaquan Satchel? And football IQ? On Shaquan Satchel, him see the game in a 400 and 500 different language. Shaquan Satchel. I know who else have really good football IQ? Djean Richards.
Yeah. But bro, I'm not gonna disagree with Guna for that one. Blake, Douglas, them see the game different, bro. I feel like them play it different. And especially Blake, man, from defense.
Roma and Blake are different gravy. I think
IQ was not that boy.
I think, bro, if you talk about IQ wise, if you do a good interview, then yeah, Blake and Douglas. But if you talk about football IQ, bro, I think Shaquan Satchel has to be involved in that conversation.
Is involved in the conversation? I'm not about that.
The way how Shaquan Satchel see that football game and the decisions that Shaquan Satchel makes is unparalleled, bro. Like Shaquan Satchel, bro, you see Shaquan Satchel and make no bad decision on the football field?
Can't, bro. As I say, I'm not going to talk down Shaquan Satchel and ball. I'm in the conversation. Can't learn. But Guna spit some facts tonight. And Guna talk some good things. I have to big up the super chat from Football Global. Bless up. You said, bless up, gents. Blake and Douglas are the best schoolboy football players. Whisper is a good player, but compared to Hutchinson of Chelsea, Lembeskav, Wolves, EPL, That's
that's what I was saying. Why in 6 spots?
Well, make us stop. We can reel up back a little. Blake and Douglas are the best schoolboy.
I think he was excluding Whisper.
all right.
Because
If I,
look who him a compare Whisper to. Look who him a compare Whisper.
yeah. I guess him
Him
take
compare
Whisper out
Whisper
of the
to the Crows.
conversation. Yeah, I think him take Whisper out of the conversation. Thanks for the super chat though. And yeah, we've been making this point that even under 20, there are players better than Whisper. That are Jamaican, or have Jamaican heritage.
Yeah.
Bro, Omar Hutchinson is literally on the fringes of the Chelsea squad. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, let me just signed up a contract with Wolves. Like, Jamar Clark is in the championship. Kanaya Clark is in the championship. You get me? I say so. There are. You have a very solid point. Run through some more. Amansa Malachi Douglas and Christopher Hull are underrated. 2026 Jaja, we go in years behind. Honestly, bro, Damian Lowe can go, to be honest. Jaja, you can't do me that. You can't do me that, Tariq, bro. I'm a favorite reggae boy right now. No.
Tell me the central defender. Tell me the central defender to replace him.
Who you after? Tariq Brown.
Yeah, because there is none.
I keep Damian Lowe. Sorry, people.
Yeah, you are be biased. I'm not being biased, bro. Send me a proper central defender and see if I'm not send Damian Lowe packing. But there's no central defender to defend him, and Damian Lowe is underrated.
Bro, what's wrong with Carl Brown, bro? What is wrong with Carl Brown? Was it schoolboy football?
Because it's the best football competition in Jamaica. Simple. So we're gonna talk about it until summer.
No, man, big up yourself, Carl Brown. You don't know the thing, go. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, we respect everybody's opinion and things. So, big up yourself, my G.
No, but we're just like I said, the reason why we still talk about it is because it's better than the JPL. But we respect the JPL still, no. And we'll be covering the JPL, but schoolboy football, different gravy.
Yeah. South Christ, the Jamaican local league is rubbish, to be honest. Damn, that's a bit harsh. All right. Tay, Hull is class, to be honest. I think he was even given Clarendon College best player this season. Christopher Hull is a very good player. Very, very good player. So is Malachi Douglas. Underrated, not sure, but very, very good players.
Malachi Douglas got MVP for the Costa Cup. And captain of the Costa Cup team.
All right.
Solid resume.
I feel like their best player was Malachi Douglas, though. Clarendon College. Under whole season. Obviously, I didn't watch him as much as I watched him.
And then my forward bias is going to come in. You know, the likes of Reed and Dixon.
See that?
Oh my goodness. And then Devontae Hodges really and truly has really taken the next step up to the Chapleton Maroons and has been one of the Maroons' standout players. So there's definitely some competition to Malachi Douglas and the Clarendon College team, but he was the MVP for the Costa Cup for a reason.
Yeah.
And just a YouTuber will make up things to get views.
That's all we do. Unseen Sports said we have to look at our local players. It's a must. Not saying at the moment our local players are better, but what can I say?
No, nothing. We are in full agreement with the camp that was implemented recently, right? 100%. That's something that needs to happen, because I think he needs to keep an eye on these players. So for
find the exception.
So I'm not even talk about the exception because right now, bro, I don't want to hear about the exception. Right now, Richard King needs to get a contract. That's where I'm on right now. It's too long. But so I'm not even want to hear the exception foolish. What I'm saying, the likes of Ramon Howell signs in the USL tomorrow, he would have been seen by Hal Grimston. And then as soon as him get couple man of the matches in the USL, Hal Grimston say, all right, we know that youth, I know who him play, I know exactly what him have to offer. Big baller, he might prove himself in the USL, call him up. You get me? So that was just an example. But that's why I think it's definitely important to look at our local players. 100%. I just don't think any player playing in the local league possesses the quality to play in our national team, or else they would have been playing internationally.
All right. Travis Pessoa. Thanks for passing through. Isn't it? Thanks for watching. Junior Fleming's never been a JPL top scorer. No season he played.
Junior Fleming's
how he make light work of the JPL. This and that stuff. That's what you don't know. First of all, which one I was saying? Top scorer.
I said he made light work at the JPL, but I never say him top scorer.
First of all, bro, the man is a teenager.
Yeah, the man come out as a teenager and score double-digit goals and then go a foreign.
Exactly. So if you do that, isn't that to say that you're special? That's what we're saying, brother.
Junior Fleming left the Manning Cup. Him left the Manning Cup as a teenager after him just destroyed the Manning Cup, scored double-digit goal for Tivoli, and got foreign. Go literally go the USL and get top goal scorer in the USL twice. You get me? I say, win the USL Cup, Junior Flemings did. Get in a trouble. Come back at JPL again for a little bit. Start it up again, this time more mature as a standout player. Then go back at USL. Win the USL Cup again, if I'm not mistaken. And then go France. So Junior Fleming made light work of the JPL as a teenager. Him left straight from JC, come out. I don't even know if him play a full season. And just go foreign. And him literally go and dominating at the USL. Junior Fleming's it's so like we didn't even talk about it enough. How good Junior Fleming was in the USL. Like Junior Fleming's a USL legend. Like Junior Fleming's literally got the USL and score goals, on top of goals, on top of goals, on top of goals. Phoenix Rising top player. You get me? I say win the USL and get himself in some idiot trouble and come home for a little bit and then gone right back into that same USL where him got the foolishness. Had that been somebody else, it would have been career ending in North America. But because of his quality, he got himself back there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Junior Fleming made light work at the JPL.
I agree with you, bro. I believe I think about it. Unseen Sports, I disagree with you, this and that. The coaching, why me a call with this and that. It's fine. Coaching in Jamaica, not 100, but I think if Argumson, I think that comment they did for continue. Yeah, if Argumson can get some of the time to work with these players from the JPL, they will look like any other player out of Jamaica. So yeah, continuing the conversation, and you're saying the JPL is not at the standard for to be pushing our players to represent national team. Yeah, when I say Jamaica not have talent, bro. I don't think we lack talent. I don't think we're short of talent. I don't think Jamaica is a place to look and say, oh, the talent is not good enough in Jamaica. The development stop at a certain point. The coaching is not as good at a certain point. The league and the competition is not as good at a certain point. The environment and the resources is not conducive to be pushing everybody to their max. Yep, so this is why I don't think that we're pushing out the best professionals that we can. No, we have Jamaicans overseas. I don't think even with some of the talent of the man in Jamaica have. But they are getting further because of everything, pushing them to be the best pro they can be. Bro, we think about a toughie understanding man they were in at the JPL and I do some things. Imagine if they were in some of those systems overseas and getting the best treatment to be the best footballers that they can be. You get me? So talent is not the thing unseen. I mean, I agree with that. There are players in the JPL with talent, with Europe level talent. Yes, yeah. But they're just not there yet because of the coaching, because of the systems that they play, because of just the resources that just don't help them to get to the point that they want to get to. So with the players, yeah, but until we fix the coaching and fix the level of the league and fix how good everybody turn out, I don't think we can be looking to the JPL for players. But we hear you on the fact that there are players in Jamaica. All right, so the Jamaican football public can't handle the cold truth and some fully done to football. When they watch the EPL and see Bobby Reid score goals and tell themselves Whisper should start over him. No way. And anybody say Whisper should start over Bobby Reid, they will not even have a conversation. You get me? I say then it don't really make sense what you try to tell me. Bobby Reid is one of the best Jamaican players. Bobby Reid plays in the best league in the world and he's doing well. He's a very good player. You get me? I say very important to his team. Came up in the Premier League, did well, go back down, come back up again, and they might do well again. He's consistently good. You get me? I said, for Jamaica, unfortunately, Jamaica don't play in a way where our wingers thrive. We haven't been playing in a way where our wingers and our forwards thrive. But Bobby Reid is a very good player. And I don't think much people are saying that Whisper should start in the national. And that's not what we're saying. All right. Number one guy said, Butler have his players playing all over the pitch. Therefore, they are disqualified from this topic.
I'm not going to say they're disqualified from topic. However, I'm just saying that the bonuses that they would have received from being all over the field, I'm not going to consider it. So, okay. When I'm comparing the best defenders in schoolboy football, Dan Hugh Mitchell is always going to be in that conversation. But his 20 goals will not be something that I use over Roma Blake's 2 or 3. Yeah, it will never factor in.
Yeah, I hear you. Good night up on the fence with that one, man. I have a good night in MG. Good say best goalkeeper, Hyde. Hutchinson from the Intel, Omari Brown.
Hutchinson not half of a man, Guna. We can't do the half of a man thing, Guna. Sorry,
well,
Guna. Guna straight. if it's a half of a man, you can't be in another class there. Sorry.
Well, him have another one in there, but we'll get to it. Omar Brown in there, Romeo Daniels in there, Akeem Bernard, Stats goalkeeper, you mean Djean Williams, right? Selassie goalkeeper, that's his name I escaped me.
Hibbert, bro.
Hibbert.
Hibbert can keep.
Hibbert can keep. Him say goalkeeper is hard, bro. Hard to choose. Get off the fence, my guy.
Hibbert hard to keep. Hibbert not reach it. But Hibbert is.
I'm gonna say a couple names, bro. I'm gonna say Rasika Rose. I'm gonna say Moy Morgan. We have a say about Gunalis. In the on the fence. You said too hard for choose.
No, I watch you know. Hibbert on this list. Hibbert was one of the best players under 16 this season, the whole entire committee. I was so impressed with that kid every single time I see him play. His last goalkeeper. Just watch out.
You wanted under 17 call up, to be honest.
Never consider that. I wonder who are the under 17 goalkeepers. I know that them have a goalkeeper overseas who is his age.
Yeah. And him are the number one. He should be the number one.
Yeah, but Hibbert's a very good goalkeeper. Surprised that he didn't make the under 17 Rust call-up squad. That's surprising. But you know what? He played for Haile Selassie, unfortunately. And that's why I do think in a few years Hibbert will be wearing a different color shirt.
Watch out, man. Watch out. Oh, finish up. Just say a comment.
Yeah. Hutchinson from Dintil, technically solid goalkeeper. Technical, that Dintil goalkeeper is super technical, you know. But sorry, I'm just super biased. So apologies. He might well be the best goalkeeper, but
Reggie, why you keep on admit your bias? What is wrong with you? Anyways,
I'm half of a man. So go.
Kevin Ebert. Him said Jaime Williams too, which is also half of a man by your description.
I don't think Jaime Williams a very good shot stopper. I don't think Jaime Williams technically is in the level with like the Akeem Bernards and the Rasika Roses and even the Hutchinson from Dintil, so on and so forth. So yeah.
All right. Kevin Williams said, I wonder what they're going to say when this coach call up 24 overseas based players. But don't think me and have a problem. As long as are the 24 best Jamaicans, you think me and have a problem?
That's me. It should be 26. But what you know? Make we left that.
You say that we left still.
Somebody said 24. I'm gonna say we left that.
All right.
It should be 26.
Unseen say local based players must be in the squad.
Disagree.
Can't shut them out. You can't just write them off still in them. And I say to write them off because there are exceptions. You get me? I say, but for the most part,
bro, you see if them good. You see if you're in a local league and they score 3 goals every single match, then you can make the national team. Because here you gonna go foreign very, very soon. You get me? I say?
Yeah.
But there's a reason why these players are playing and haven't gone yet. You know who can get the exception for me?
Who?
Probably a Roma Blake, or let's say
Can you expect a move?
when him reach the age when he can make the move, like literally like Whisper and Blake the only reach there in Jamaica right now is because them too young to travel. You get me? I say, but you can't be 25, then in a J play for 5 years and still make the team. When you have central,
I'm done school them at 18.
Eh?
7 make it worse. I say 7 years make it worse because I'm done school when I'm at 18.
Exactly. So like we have players the likes of Christopher Pearson, who's playing overseas. You get me? I say we do have like
who got that exception inclusion into the national squad.
I think his inclusion to the national squad was unwarranted. But watch on bro, he would have been one of those players who would have made it because had he been the age to travel overseas, he would have traveled overseas. And as soon as him turned 18. You get me? I say as soon as him turned 18. So fine, those players being involved, though I still don't think those particular cases were warranted. But those players being involved don't grieve me as much as a 27-year-old JPL player because he's barely standing out in the JPL.
Yeah.
Like a Devante Campbell or a Nicholas Nelson, those like Devante Campbell are not really mad at his involvement in the national team. He's still a very young player, you know, and I still think, but like the 23s and the 24s and the 25-year-old players who aren't getting international contracts are making the national team, I don't understand how.
Yeah.
That's why I say Richard King when he was 20, good. 21, good, bro. 22, 23, something wrong. Get a centre back out there.
All right. Jamaica, what did I say? Jamaica Clark. I think I mean Jamari Clark. They
Yeah.
look better than Whisper.
And bro, and that's the next thing that I wanted to say. I don't definitively think Jamari Clark must be better than Whisper.
No most, but he's at a higher level.
Had Whisper been born with an English passport, I think he would have been in a championship or a Premier League academy.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I agree.
Definitively Whisper would have been in so Jamari Clark no must be better than Whisper, bro. Him no
I
must
agree.
be better than Whisper. Because I do believe that Whisper would have been in some EPL or championship academy. Genuinely believe that. Whisper would look for graduate from academy football now and go sign him League One contract or him championship contract. I do believe that. So Jeremy and Mitchell, I tend to agree.
Yeah. MG say, yo, Jeremy and Mitchell, have you ever seen Jamari Clark with your own two eyes? I'm a challenge him.
Yeah.
All right. Auntie say, let me just relax. Me and tell you something. The answer is technical. All right.
And I'm not saying Whisper better than Jamari Clark, but I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised if you put them in the same environment if Whisper probably does better. But Jamari Clark is cold. Solid footballer playing at the championship level and scoring championship goals. Big and strong and fast, just like Whisper. So we'll be curious to see them both in the same environment.
Yeah, Tyreek Brown said, all me I say is make sure these young players who are in Europe right now and end up in where are they now because they've had the future and the future look bright. Yeah, I agree. Ronaldo Tate, big up Roma Blake, what a defender.
What a guy.
Stoke City young centre back Bradley Morgan to replace Damian Lowe, clueless in Argentina match.
Bro, if there's a younger central defender that's better than Damian Lowe, then I'm all for it. Right now, Damian Lowe is literally a standout in an MLS club. MLS is a pretty high level of football. So what can I say? Damian Lowe is good.
Guna and Unseen have a conversation in the comment section. They might talk about Asher and so Guna say, yo, he never have a great season, not the meaning of good.
Yeah.
And stats as Guna say, yo, the stats keeper had a better season than Asher. Does that mean he's better than Asher Unseen?
Nope.
Yeah.
No. And don't get me wrong, Guna, as I said, the youth. Technically gifted, talented kid, good on him feet. He may salad and pile anybody. But I don't think the kid is 5'7" rush. Hutchinson, I don't think the kid is 5'8", 5'7". It now go cut it. It won't work.
All right. KY say, why has Bygrave and Marshall come back to the JPL?
When we go to JPL, we will definitely.
Yeah, well, can't answer that right.
We will definitely be sure to ask.
All right. Keep up the good work, guys. The channel will continue to grow. Yeah. Big respect for the kind words, so cry. Thanks for the support, everybody. Continue to support us by liking the video. Leave a comment and subscribe. All we ask. Do one more thing though.
Share the video to at least 10 people, but ensure to get us just 6 subscribers. You know what that can do for you? Wally. All right. So Travis Pessoa, because they are out of contracts with them overseas team. Yeah. I guess that is pretty straightforward. The question he's asking kind of deeper now. Why they never renew them contract?
Yeah, why they never renew them contract or why they never get a transfer? That's basically what he's asking. All right. Marius Lagin and Damian Lowe. Damian Lowe performance in the last time he played for the national team shows that he is not the answer. Look what he did in Mexico game and put the team under pressure. Mexico is the world. Mexico, not Mexico. We spoke about Argentina earlier. First of all, Argentina are the world champions. First of all. You get me? I said, they're going to make most defenders look like crap. Second of all, Mexico game wasn't great. If you're talking about, you might talk about red card.
The Mexico game, him get red card, you know?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Damian Lowe is not the perfect defender. And if you find a better defender, then no problem. But just as I say right now, I feel like him on the best way of offer.
For sure.
All right. KY said, do you believe that they came back to Jamaica because it will be easier for them to get selected in the national team now because the new coach will have regular camps?
I don't believe that because getting selected into the national team is not going to feed my family.
Nope.
So I don't believe that's the case. I
Yeah.
genuinely don't believe that's the case. And I believe their contracts simply just weren't renewed and they come back to the JPL as a springboard to wheel and come again, to be relaunched back into the ecosystem. And I think, I don't know. I just hope that they manage to get themselves another contract out of the country again.
Yeah, bro, because we want to see the youth them do well. Like, I remember Alex Marshall in his earlier days. Alex Marshall was a ball over great, brother. You get me? I say, I feel like, say, that left foot of his really good. You get me? I say, low center of gravity. When him rush him shoulder in your chest and school to and dribble pass, like, Alex
Yeah.
Marshall, baller. You get me? I say, and I don't want to see the youth them do well. So hopefully he can secure a contract very soon and get out of here. Because see, we just have said,
Alex Marshall needs to improve. You talk about secure contract. Alex Marshall needs to improve. Needs to become a better footballer.
that going to make him secure a contract, innit?
I mean, I guess.
All
What
right,
next?
so TikTok said we have to get better at rating players. Player can't keep flopping internationally and keep starting because they play in the EPL. other players think other players have to get a chance no matter where they play. I don't think we've been rewarding players that have been playing
Well, I
poorly
mean,
in the Premier League.
dissect it. I think this is a shot at one Bobby De Cordova, first and foremost, because he had a few stinkers during the World Cup qualifiers. Um, Let me just say this. Let me just say this. First of all, Bobby Reid has played some good games for Jamaica. Bobby Reid has scored some goals for Jamaica. Bobby Reid did go through a patch of rough form for his national team, which happens to the very, 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 very best of them. Bobby Reid still possesses the quality to that much of a high level where he has to be in the squad. Now, am I saying that Bobby Reid is a surefire starter for this Jamaica team every single time? No, because though Jamal Lowe doesn't necessarily play at the level, of Bobby Reid. Jamal Lowe definitely can offer this Jamaica team something, and Jamal Lowe often performs better for the national team than Bobby Reid, especially in recent time. So yeah, if I see a team where Jamal Lowe starts on the left flank and Bobby Reid is left on the bench, you think I'm going to be complaining that, oh no, because Bobby Reid playing at EPL in start over Jamal Lowe? Not necessarily. But what I'm saying is there's no way we'll find 26 better people than Bobby Reid to carry on this team. And when Bobby Reid is in form and scoring goals, Bobby Reid will score goals. As we saw in the most recent Gold Cup where he got the goal of the tournament. One over the shoulder, bang off of the right foot. Suriname's goalkeeper left without a chance. Bobby Reid definitely should be in the squad. I don't think his start is automatic though.
Yeah. I want to see Whisper playing at a higher level to make up my mind about it.
All right. Good point.
Yeah, go around.
I want to see us play at a higher level to consolidate my beliefs on him. How he plays though can change my mind,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I think my mind is already made up.
Yeah. I know the talent that I'm looking at. Very good player. Obviously, I want to see him play at high level. I want to see how he fares at higher level. But
Yeah.
obviously, as I say, as in how he play can never change your mind. So can't even go around that comment there. Think that you
No.
can't look at age or being overseas. I think a player can play well for Jamaica coming out in the JPL. Not everybody has the same opportunity to leave Jamaica. JPL player can play English Championship. And this is where I'm going to disagree. I don't think a majority of the players in the JPL can play Championship ball.
None of them. None of
I
them.
don't. Man, I feel like Richard can give him the opportunity or in that system. That goes to my point. Still, if they were in the system from jump, then maybe. But
The
right now,
thing is, if we have players capable of playing in the championship, they would at least be playing in the USL or the MLS. The
mm,
championship is a top 10 quality football league in the
you're right.
whole entire world. So if there are players that have the quality to play in the championship, then they'd at least be in Belgium. They'd at least be in Slovenia. You get me? I said they'd at least be in Europe. So I'm not necessarily saying, oh, you have the quality to play in championship, you must play in championship. No, because you have players like Junior Fleming who spent a lot of time in the USL with MLS quality. So don't get me wrong, your quality is not always indicated by where you play. But I'm saying if we have players that are good enough to play at such a high level, they definitely wouldn't be relegated and forced to play at this level. They'd at least be somewhere in between the level that they're capable of playing at and the level that is Jamaica football. If you get what I'm trying to say.
No, we definitely understand. Yes. Kevin Williams, he's one saying that um, Bobby Reed is better than everything we have. And Tapa have played Bobby Reed and Kevin Roof out of position. That's what I said. The way we played under Coach Whitmore, great reggae boy, by the way. Every time we get a chance, we have to big up as a reggae boy.
My opinion is the all time.
Yeah. Definitely didn't play a system where we're going to strive, bro. Where attacking players are going to score goals. I think Tapa's MO was always to concede as little goals as we can. I feel like that was always what he wanted to do, rather than to score.
With some of them big baller there.
Yeah. Which is kind of criminal, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you have certain of them players and not try for like concede as little goals. You know, instead of playing a complete game and winning games, trying to win games rather than trying not to win. You know, and that's, I feel like that's two different things. All right, so Ansi with an opinion here on the championship thing. We have players in championship football. We have players in the championship football. It's biased to England. And if you ask me, championship players average when they play for Jamaica.
Well, no, Ravel Morris was our best player.
Ravel Morris definitely not average.
Last season was our best player. You know, I think there should be a Reggae Boyz award. I think Ravel Morris should have probably been given that award for the Reggae Boyz best player. And he was playing in the championship. You know, a championship standout. And we've seen sparks and moments from Daniel Johnson. And historically, for like me, I guess, you know, the likes of Makanov, McCleary, even Adrian Marapa spent a long time in the championship. We saw Jamal Lowe when he was in the championship. Bobby Reed played well for us when he was in the championship. So there are a lot of players that come from the championship and play for Jamaica and are standout players for us. All those players that I just mentioned, you know, were championship players at some point in their career while playing for Jamaica. All of whom have come and been great contributors. Because Reading only spent a few years in the Premier League with McCleary and Makanov. The vast majority of their time, and Mariappa on that same team, the vast majority of the time were spent in the championship. And when those three players came for Jamaica, they were surefire starters. And they would always make things happen for the national team. And, you know, make you feel good now, Seth. Nairo Nosworthy was a top central defender, you know, who was very good for us. Another championship player. So we've definitely had championship players that come and play for us and really stand out. We've also had championship players, you know, the likes of Donaldson who come and are average. You get me, I say? But that happens. But
we think the League One and League Two should it even be looking there?
I mean, yeah, of course. Without a doubt, because League One and League Two are still better than the USL. You know, I think League One and League Two are still on par with the MLS at least. So if we have players who are doing well in League One, those players definitely should be looked into. Definitely should be looked into more than players in the JPL. But what I can say to that point is maybe there might possibly be JPL players that go under the radar that might be able to play in League Two. I can say that at least. You know?
All right. Where's the comment I wanted to read? All right. So Kiwani say, why would not do such an injustice to the JPL players? Up until now, you can't understand JPL players are not up to the level. That's what we're saying actually. So who's doing the injustice? The people where call up them where I say they should be involved, and I make with Afi. I say no. Because we agree with it. I don't think they're up to the level.
Yeah, JPL players just aren't better than Ambro. All right, like over here. All right, other from Ravel, the rest, McCleary and Makanov.
Is he talking about no or generally?
But right now, which championship player we have in our team right now?
You're a championship player right now.
Yeah, besides like Jamal Lowe was
Williams get promoted, Jamal Lowe gone back down.
yeah, so and Jamal when Jamal Lowe come play for Jamaica him score goals. So
Andre Gray in the championship last year.
yeah, Andre
Yeah,
Gray score Andre Gray is not
Amar
average for Jamaica. Jamal Lowe is not average for Jamaica. So
there, Greg Lee. Greg Lee play League 2, League 1.
no, Greg Lee play in Scotland.
Or you get a move, but we are talking about Amar Bell play
Yeah,
championship.
Amarbel playing exactly Amarbel coming in place. So which local base player better than the championship
Daniel
player?
Johnson, Kevin Stewart.
Solid players in the championship that play for us. Like we see Ramon Howell and we compare Ramon Howell, who is probably the best central defensive midfielder in the whole JPL, and you compare him to Kevin Stewart, and it's no factor. A player that we really, really want in our system, Isaac Hayden, is not even a surefire starter for his championship team right now. And trust and believe that he's better than anybody we have on display. He's better than anybody we have to offer. So the championship is definitely, definitely,
What
definitely.
I'm gonna do right now is ask you guys to name the players because TikTok are saying, "Oh, don't agree with JG." That's you, by the way. We have had a lot of championship flops. A lot of them weren't standouts for Jamaica and were swallowed up by CONCACAF. Name some of them, man. Make you know who flop.
From the championship. Because the championship players that, as I said, Clayton Donaldson was a player. He never really fire on all cylinders for Jamaica. But then again, he got called up when he was pretty up in age. Besides him, I'm trying to think. Because even recently we had a standout League Two player. Anthony Grant really came
Yes,
and made a
Paris.
made a valiant impact, in our World Cup qualifying campaign. And he played his trade in the fourth division of English football. So like, I don't know. I think, we historically we've had some solid championship players.
As sports, look at this. Look at this. Cephas, the best attacking player in the JPL, never got the chance to play for Jamaica. So that's the problem, bro. But even so, Cephas never played for Jamaica yet, right? But compare Cephas now to Gabriel
Gabriel
Morris
Morrison and Daniel
and
Johnson and
Karim
Bobby Reed
Paris. And
and Kaim Paris,
yeah, bro, like, come on, man.
Nina Fleming.
Jamal Lowe, even
Yeah.
Blair Kerrigan. Come on, bro.
And then again, and Cephas was so good in the JPL
The
that he
training
got
camp.
his international contract.
Yeah.
And the fact that he got his international contract showed then that he's now worthy of being looked into for playing for the national team. And even since he's got his international contract, him still not up on the level of central attacking midfielder they will have.
Our wingers
He's
are.
still not at that level.
All
He's
right.
still not at that level.
Tennessee Lewis, I respond to Unseen. Unseen, you are saying players from the championship is average, but talking about JPL players, man say, yeah, drink Unseen.
We're at unseen sports still. Don't
No,
get me wrong. But
yeah, yeah.
unseen sports, we disagree with you on this one. Definitely, I think if there's any JPL players capable of playing in the championship, they would definitely at least be at a league somewhere in between.
Yeah. TikTok say you would pick Mariapa over King, but I would. Kevin Stewart would play for my team over Speedy. All right.
I would pick Mario over King.
Right? No.
Close. It's close, but I'm still taking Mariapa. You know, if I'm playing this Jamaica team right now, if I was for the game in Mexico, I would have Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe, Amar Bell, and Adrian Mariapa. I play Adrian Mariapa right back. I still think he's a better right back for us than Javian Brown. In addition to the fact that we are so competent in attacking areas that we don't necessarily need a wing back to bomb and to make squares. And we've seen Mariapa play right wing back, and we've seen him getting good squares, and we've seen him do
Man
it.
say right now, Cephas better than them, brother.
Well,
We disagree on that one, them G, but
Cephas did get a call up and turned it down because he wanted to settle into his new club system. So Cephas did get his call up. and him never
Yeah,
go.
I'm seeing we're about to come off actually. So we are approaching 2 hour mark and that are the mark. But me here is still number G. Me have to just respectfully disagree. Me not think the JPL. Yeah, fight still in on. Me respect the fight. Um, I feel like the looking of you must give a look into local players because there is that exception sometimes that will in 2 or 3 or 4 years will be the one. You see me? But right now, no, no man. Cygnus Media, the lower league players that did well for Jamaica came to Prem quality youth academies. Anthony Grant, Ravel, Daniel Johnson, Gregory. Bro, the thing is a lot of people in England come to Prem academies, even if they play in the championship or League One. Them go
Jam-
on the academy.
Jamaican, Jamaican or not Jamaican?
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a thing. Yeah, you can be in a Man City academy or Arsenal academy right now and end up playing in League One. That's how it works. You get me? I say. So, I really feel like that one there's so much still. And even some really good academies are championship academies.
Yeah.
And so you have to understand, say, some of the championship clubs in the Premier, in terms of senior football, their academy teams are under 23s, play with
Premier
Man
League
City.
under 20s, yeah.
So you have to meds that too. All right, so South Korea say, oh, the man them not the Premier League good. It's just that the coaching the all that. You see me? No matter how good individual players are, if the team don't have a system and can't keep the ball, it's futile. Can't fight, yeah, solid point, but still, no. QR is unseen is unseen. He claimed come on. He claimed local players are better than the overseas, but complaining when Meran dropped the 2 overseas players.
Tata.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro. As I said,
We have to read and see comment them too. What I'm saying is the championship players average when playing for Jamaica. So if them average when playing for Jamaica, what we go see from it?
yeah, but I'm saying, bro, I just listed a myriad of championship players who were absolute standouts for Jamaica. You know, the likes of McCleary and McAnavan, Nasworthy and Daniel Johnston, and Ravel Morrison, even Bobby Reed from time to time. You get me? I said Jamal Lowe, Andre Gray.
You say other than Ravel, all of them mid. You there?
Bro, remember what did say we're gonna put out a quick 26, because we have to go.
Well, no? I might even think about that. JG, my rapper has not done much for Jamaica. He gets props because he's UK. He can't play a better right back. He can't play a better right back than Brown. Woo! Are you read that one the final? Because I know some rapper here, boy.
I recollect myself for a second before I answer that. Adrian Mariappa is currently the current active greatest reggae boy. And I think close behind him is Andre Blake. So in terms of active reggae boy, I think the current active reggae boy who is the greatest reggae boy active right now is Adrian Mariappa. You talk about not doing much for the country. Adrian Mariappa has been our best defender over the last decade. Unequivocally, name a better defender than Adrian Mariappa over the last decade. You think about the likes of, Oliver Spole and Jermaine Taylor and Damien Lowe and Sean Francis and Kemar Lawrence, and Adrian Mariappa has been the best one.
Consistent.
And even now, in his old age, Adrian Mariappa is still putting in good shifts for the nation, as we've seen in the most recent performances, where we've seen him play a myriad of positions, so on and so forth. Mariappa doesn't make mistakes. Mariappa is good at the pass. Mariappa makes good tackles, and though not very tall, he's very dominative and pretty solid physically. Mariappa is also the best leader on the team. Um, his English heritage has nothing to do with how much we rate Adrian Mariappa. Mariappa is as Jamaican to me as anybody else, and Mariappa, when he plays for Jamaica, I see him leave absolutely everything on the field. Mariappa has played more games in the national stadium than so many people. Mariappa has been to Jamaica so much times. You know, he's played so many competitions for us. He's done that armbands and he's made countless tackles and he's scored some important goals for us. Don't get it twisted or misconstrued. Adrian Mariappa is an absolute legend in Jamaican football.
Bro,
One of the
you know what I'm gonna say? You spoke about his playing a while ago. And I feel like that is just downright disrespectful to Adrian Mariappa. Right now, I believe Adrian Mariappa should be our captain. I honestly
yeah,
believe that based on the progression of how things go, not that we should give him right now, but based on how it did go, he should have been the captain from them time. We've spoken to Adrian Mariappa. You get me? I say Adrian Mariappa loves playing for Jamaica. So I'm not talk about the playing part. You just do that and speak about how consistent he is. Barring that Canada game, I can't think of too many bad games for Adrian Mariappa. He puts in a consistent 7 most days. You get me? I say even when the team are play bad, he's usually the best defender in the bunch. You get me? I say obviously he's getting up in age now and he's just there as the guiding man and the one to pass on his experience and thing. But don't disrespect Adrian Mariappa like that. Don't get me wrong though. Javian Brown, a bother. Get me, I said? Much respect to Javian Brown. He's also not the finished article. I feel like there is much more to come from him and much more in the tank. But Adrian Mariappa, man, don't that. Don't say he's not enough for Jamaica. Because Adrian Mariappa has been there for the better part of the last decade and a half. He's been there. You get me, I say so. Now for disagree there, upon that one there, and the people in the comment section I disagree with him too. You see me so? We're not alone on this. And I think most people can disagree with TikTok panel. Much respect though, bro. You want to give them a 26 before we cut? We have
yeah. Real quick, me have a little bit of time. Blakey, I'm all night. Connor Boys Clark. Dylan Barnes can't play no football. You get me? I say,
why?
huh?
Why?
You have to ask him. He can't get a team. He can't get in a team. He can't get a starting spot. No way him go. You get me? I say, so him just can't make a team. So it go.
I agree with that, you.
I'm all night. I go play football. The new USL club. Them I go build them team around. I'm all night. One of the players. Them build them team around. Greg Lee, Amari Bell, Ethan Pinnock. Greg Lee, Amari Bell, Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe, Adrian Mariappa. Still on the fence with Richard King, but I mean, he's here. You know, Javian Brown. Um, I'd love to see I'd love to see Isaac Hayden in the squad. I heard that he was recently spoken to. You know, we have Kevin Lambert or
Isaac
Kevin.
Hayden is injured.
Oh, he won't be around for March.
He just do a surgery.
Chacha. We hear about Lambert, we hear about Stewart, right? Rafael Morrison, you know, Kaim Paris is there. You know, I think Junior Fleming still has a place in this squad. Bobby Reed, Leon Bailey, Michael Antonio, the Arons, that's the Rolando Arons kid. He did really well when he came and played for Jamaica. Leon Bailey, of course. I would say Jamari Clark, Omari Hutchinson, Lambasaka. You know, those are all players. I think may I come close to the 26 at this point, though.
You just say Shamal Nicholson. Shamal
Shamar
Nicholson.
Nicholson, Shamar Nicholson,
You say
Jamal Lush.
Michael Antonio.
I haven't said Michael Antonio, but I don't know if yeah, Michael Antonio would have come, but maybe, I don't know. You know, Michael Antonio, but I'm say Jamari Clark, Lambasaka, Omari Hutchinson. So you see how easy we can find 26? And all of them man there, big Jordan Fletcher, they're in India, tear up India right now. You get me?
You know, say Karim Paris.
I did say Kaim
You say
Paris.
Karim Paris?
Yeah. So people, you see how many players that we could have called up. So we could have called up a 20 odd man squad. Easy. You get me? I say,
Both of those players, I'm not disagree with. But I know I go for Flemings right now, to be honest. I'm a big brother. Me have a notification on Toulouse. And every time they play a game, I check the starting lineup. I check what is going on, man. What is going on?
so you say if him not getting the match day team, him can't get in your international squad.
So,
That,
bro, I don't know if I'm not playing football, but watching over there on the 2 hour mark and the stream will end very soon. So, people, thank you guys for passing through. Like the video on your way out. Subscribe to this or that Sports TV on your way out. Drop it in the comment section. Tell them to big up yourself. Share. You know what? I'm not telling no for that. You tell them.
Gretchen, where you run down aliens for? Anyways, people, share the video to at least 10
What's
people.
wrong with it? What is wrong with it?
Stop run down aliens, Bridging. Every day you come say just a run down aliens, you run down like, you run down subscriber, you
That's
run
why,
down.
that's why the man say I'm big garbage talk. Come on, run it out.
Get us 6 subscribers, people. That's all. Because if you guys can manage to do that, you know how many subscribers that get us